All right. Good morning on this Sunday morning, April 23rd. I'm Gary Ryan here with the Fed League Flash. And as I predicted, there is no Sunday hockey as all the playoff rounds were decided last night. Um, yeah, just all two-game series, which I was a little surprised as far as hmm, Columbus and Motor City went, but nonetheless, okay, let's get to it. Recapping yesterday's games. Um, wow, what a game between the Carolina Thunderbirds and the Port Huron Prowlers. I alluded to it a little bit in my live report yesterday. Both of those teams had to be just totally gassed after playing a tough game on Friday. And then, okay, the game's done. Let's get changed, get showered, climb on the bus, make the 11-hour drive down to Carolina, arrive, late morning, get a little bit of rest, and then right to the rink for a 4 o'clock start. Um, wow. Um, and you think that both of those guys, both teams would be totally tired, and they played a really high quality game yesterday. So kudos to both the Prowlers and the Thunderbirds on such a wonderful game yesterday. Carolina ends up the victors, winning the series. They pulled out an overtime win, 5-4, and this was definitely a game of big swings. Joe Devney scored late in the first to put Port Huron up, and feeling pretty good about things. And then the wheels kind of came off for a little while. Jan Salak and Dawson Baker scored in the second period, so Carolina took the lead. And then early in the third, while on a power play, Jan Salak scored again. Now it's 3-1 Carolina. They're thinking, we got this. Not so fast. Enter Tucker Scantlebury into the picture 12 seconds after Baker scored. He scored himself. So Port Huron crawls back into the game. Goes back to center ice for the faceoff. Another 12 seconds later, scores again. So in the span of 24 seconds, there's 3 goals, 2 by Tucker Scantlebury. But wait, he wasn't done. Approximately 12 minutes later, got the natural hat trick. So now Port Huron's up 4-3, thanks to Scantlebury. Fantastic game for him, as well as for the whole team. But nonetheless, Peter Panachik, who was the hero of Game 1, he said, nope, we're not ready to throw in the towel yet. He scores at the 18-12 mark of the third period, sends the game into overtime, and then 4:37 in, Dawson Baker scores his second, the game-winning goal, deciding the whole thing, and Carolina is the victor. In the game, Gus Ford had 3 assists, including assisting on the overtime goal. Boris Babic, again, he continues to shine as Mario Cavalier is still out hurt. He saves 33 of 37. And Brian Talion for the Port Huron Prowlers, he stops 41 of 46. So anyway, now Carolina rest up for a few days, and then the take on the Columbus River Dragons in Columbus next Friday at 7:35. So that is going to be quite a series, I am sure. All right, in the Empire Division, Binghamton closed out their series with the Watertown Wolves. It was a 6-1 final. It was not really much in doubt. Watertown just looked tired. like how I could imagine both the previous two teams felt. But anyway, um, yep, there was chippy in the first. There were 24 penalty minutes just in the first period. Chad Lopez scores a power play goal, and then Tyler Jurich ended up with what would be the game-winning goal in the latter half of the period. In the second, Colin Fitzgerald makes it 3-0 for the Black Bears, but Brennan Young, uh, he scored the Wolves' only goal at 15:24. Time's winding down, and action goes into the Wolves' end. I shout out 20 seconds left, and Chad Lopez scores 3 seconds later. So, yeah, that was the second of the night. And then in the third, Don Olivieri and Gavin Yates ended up putting the icing on the cake. And that was only a minute 35 apart with those two goals. Owen Liskowitz ends up saving 40 of 46. Taylor Joseph didn't receive too many heavy tests. There were a few flurries in front of him, and he shut the door, stopping 24-25. He also got an assist on the final goal, headmanning the puck up ice, and secondary assist on the Yates goal. So now Binghamton is prepared for a much anticipated rematch with the Danbury Hat Tricks, as Danbury ends up this manhandling Elmira 7-1 to sweep that series 2-0. Total goals in the series: Danbury 14, Elmira 3. Uh, Elmira started off the game just like they did on Friday. Josh Sanchez scoring very early, putting Elmira up, and yeah, Sanchez is going to be if he comes back to Elmira next year, he's going to be a star in this league. So he joined the team very late. One of the collegians finished off his collegiate career and then joined pro, and he played wonderfully. Anyway, so just sort of like a repeat of Friday, he's the first goal scorer, and then Danbury said, "All right, we've had enough." Lucas DeBenedette scores his first at 4 minutes on the power play. Jacob Ratcliffe gets a game-winning goal at 8:34. Also in the power play, DeBenedette scores again. Johnny Ruiz scores. It's 4-1, and yeah, that was pretty much all she wrote. Elmira just could not generate offense. Only had 12 shots on goal in the first 40 minutes of play, and close things out. Michael Marchesen scores 2 goals in the second, and then Dmitry Kuznetsov scores at the 13:27 mark of the second period, and that was all it was needed. The teams kind of played things out. There were a couple heavyweight bouts between Justin Schmidt from the Mammoth and Daniel Amesbury, which a lot of people pay money to see. So they tangled twice and gave the crowd in Danbury a good cheer. Thomas Proudlock, again, second straight night where he was pulled halfway through the game. Stopped 28 shots out of 34 in 28 minutes of play. So, yeah, a save a minute. That's just too much. Brian Wilson, he takes care of what he needs to do, stopping 20 of 21. And shots on goal for the game was 57-21. Very, very lopsided game. So Danbury ends up taking care of business. So we bring out the board. Let me reposition myself here. All right. So I put the total goals in the series there. Carolina outscored Port Huron 11-7. So right now, Carolina and Columbus meeting for the Continental Division final, and Binghamton Danbury in the Empire Division. The these are the current seedings. So when we get to the finals, um, you know where each team stands. If Danbury wins the series, they will host the finals. They'll have home ice advantage for the final. If Binghamton wins, then whoever the winner of the Carolina Columbus series would be the home team. All right, so that's the playoff schedule here. Friday night in Columbus, Saturday and Sunday in Carolina. Danbury, I guess they had an issue with ice availability for Sunday because their series is going to be Friday, Saturday, and potentially Monday. Now, I believe both series can go to 3 games. Binghamton played Danbury much tougher in the latter part of the year, or the last couple of times those two teams met. So, and Carolina and Columbus, even though Carolina won the season series, that was a very close, hotly contested series. So, I really see that we would need all 3 games in both series. We'll see. All right, yeah, we still have not gotten a determination from the FPHL as far as whether the finals will be a best of 3 series or a best of 5. That partly depends on ice availability and who the final 2 teams are. Yeah, you're trying to minimize travel as much as possible. So, and if it's a 5-game series, okay, do you do a 2-2-1? Do you do a 2-3? Do how do you do things? So that all has to be determined, but we won't know until these next 2 series are determined uh, between between the Black Bears and Hat Tricks, and then between the River Dragons and Thunderbirds. So that is it. I apologize if my voice is a little rough. Thoroughly enjoyed myself at the Black Bears game. Took tons and tons of pictures of several of the people that I got to meet and rub shoulders with. We had a really good time. Even before the game began, we were all having a really good time. So that is it for today. Tomorrow, tune in to me here on YouTube. I will do a preview of the 2 series, break it down a little bit, and give you my predictions and all that. So, in the meantime, we proceed on. There's really nothing else to cover at this point. Most of the off ice stories have pretty much abated. We should get an official statement from members of the Delaware Thunder organization early this next week as far as what's next. How are things going to proceed? We know that the lease with the Delaware State Fairgrounds was not extended, and that door has closed. So, are there other doors open? We will find out. All right. Thank you again so much for watching and tuning in. I appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe here on Facebook. And remember, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as we have events, news items, announcements, all that kind of things happen, we will have a Spotify podcast. Go to Spotify, download the free app. Hit follow when you find Fed League Flash. That's me. All right. Again, thank you. Appreciate it. It's been really fun doing this throughout the year. I am Gary Ryan for today's Fed League Flash. Make sure to keep your head up, keep your stick on the ice, and as always, be excellent to each other. Good night.